day 7 of 26 on tour, and you can see that I'm in the Fortress of Solitude up in Altrincham in Cheshire for a couple of days. I've been working at my desk most of today, going to clock off in a few minutes to go and watch some football. It's been a while since I did a video blog. I think it was way back before the London Marathon, and seems like ages, so I thought I'd better catch up with you. Had a week back at work. The whole of that week was spent a delightful trip to Northern Ireland to meet and work with a lot of friends over there. I had a fabulous trip. Back to travel in the UK for the next couple of weeks, so it's going to be interesting to just kind of take the pulse of what's going on the mainland. But certainly I've had my ear to the ground since I got back from holiday. What am I hearing? I'm hearing that business is getting pretty tight for some people, and yet a few are having record months. So, you know, let's be realistic. There's no point in doing positive mental attitude when there are problems out there in the marketplace. And I'm going to let you into a trade secret. I've been a business coach for, 15 years now, and been a self-employed consultant since 1987. Something happened when I came back from holiday a week ago which has never happened before, and that is that I had 3 separate emails from 3 clients telling me that they were going to have to postpone or suspend payment of my coaching fees because their own cash flow situation was such that they just couldn't afford to pay me anymore. Now, you know, there's an argument that says that that's when you need a business coach, but let's be realistic. These people are really struggling, and at least they were very upfront with me. Now, point number 1, that's never happened before in 15 years. Point number 2, I don't need you to have a whip round because I've got plenty of clients and I've also got a waiting list of business, so we'll be picking up the slack on that very quickly. But it's a real indicator of the fact that things are tightening up in the marketplace at the moment. And I've been talking and listening with clients over the last week. What am I hearing? What I'm hearing is that whether you're busy or not, whether your cash flow is positive or not, depends on what your feeder mechanism is for new patients into the practice. Now, you've seen me write about feeders before. April was a flipping disaster for a lot of people because we had Easter and all these crazy bank holidays, and so a lot of people came back and said cash flow took a real hit. But what they're also saying is that there's a deeper malaise, which is those sources of new business that have traditionally fed them may be drying up. I'll tell you the most obvious example of that, and that's specialist referral practices, because of course the feeder there is the referring dentist, the GDP, and if the GDP is having a bit of a downturn in business, then they're less likely to refer business onto a specialist practice. So I've been talking to some of my specialist referral practice clients who are having to work very, very hard at the moment to keep the GDP referrals coming in. Who's doing loads of business? Well, the NHS practices are doing loads of business, and the reason for that, of course, is because the feeder is the government. They send you the patients, and so I'm not getting any phone calls from NHS practices saying that things are tough. It's the mixed and private practices that are complaining to me, and they're complaining that new patient numbers are down. So they're down because you haven't got enough footfall moving backwards and forwards in front of your practice. They're down because you can't afford to buy somebody else's practice who's retiring and reverse their patients into yours. They're possibly down because some of your direct marketing systems, maybe your advertising or your signage or your radio ads, haven't been quite as effective as they used to be. And you're down also because your word of mouth recommendation systems aren't good enough. You don't systematically ask people to recommend family, friends or colleagues. So it's getting tough out there. We're all having to work a bit harder. Let's talk about solutions. Solution number 1, you have got to turn on your word of mouth recommendation systems to the extent that you've never done it before. You make sure every adult who leaves that building goes away with either 3 referral business cards and a direct face-to-face request to say, could you tell your family, friends and colleagues about our practice? or they're leaving with what I call a Kedo card. That's a knock 'em dead offer card. You're asking your existing patients to take special offers out and to distribute those to family, friends and colleagues. What you're also doing is you're really focusing on the direct marketing that's very effective. Yellow Pages is dead, Yell.com isn't producing the goods anymore. Print media advertising isn't really all that effective, apart from denture stabilisation for people over the age of 65. But what is working, signage, well-placed signage on your building is working, and I'm getting very positive feedback from clients who are using radio, independent radio advertising as well. And I've got quite a few examples of that. If you want to hear some of the dental practice radio ads, just send me an email. I'll happily send them to you. I've got them sat in iTunes on my Mac. What else have you got to do? You've really got, if you've got any referral business at all, you've really got to work on those referring GDPs. They need a clinical study club, they need a non-clinical business development study club, and they need a social track as well. You've got to do a bit of golf, you've got to do a bit of clay pigeon shooting, you've got to do a bit of fishing, and you've got to maybe take individual GDP principals out for a pizza and have a bit of a listen to them and find out what their troubles are and talk to them about how you can help them. So there's never been a bigger, more important time for you to focus on your marketing activities. Look, we've got June, July and August coming down the tracks at us. 3 months where everybody in Britain goes brain dead because they're either going on holiday, they're coming back from holiday, the team's on holiday. It gets very messy for 3 months. So right now you've got to take executive action. Get your team together, focus on your marketing, and make sure that you get those new patient enquiries coming back up again, because I don't want any more clients writing to me saying that they want to take a holiday. I've had enough of that, so let's stop it now. Thanks for listening.